Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to Wobble and Jaw Sports. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Let's have a look at the Canberra Raiders 2024 fixture. Pre-season challenge starts this weekend. The Raiders, their pre-season challenge starts with a trip to Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. They take on the Parramatta Eels. 1 week later, on Sunday afternoon, they host a game at their spiritual home ground at Seaford Oval in Queanbeyan against the North Queensland Cowboys. I will be there in person for that. Cannot wait for that. The first 5 block of games for the Canberra Raiders starts on Thursday night football. Whilst it is not the official start to the season, it is the first game on Australian soil for 2024. That is a massive deal for the Canberra Raiders and their opponents, the Newcastle Knights. Thursday night footy, Knights, Raiders from McDonald Jones Stadium in a rematch to one of the best elimination finals in recent memory. What an absolutely massive occasion for the Raiders. I don't remember the last time they got a Channel 9 season kickoff game. Same can be said for the Newcastle Knights. In round number 2, the Canberra Raiders have their first home game at GIO Stadium in 2024, Saturday, 3 p.m. against the West Tigers, who will be playing their first game of the year as they have the bye in round number 1. Round number 3, on Friday night footy, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, they travel across the ditch to play the Warriors, not in Auckland, but in Christchurch at Apollo Projects Stadium. Round number 4, they're still on the road. It is Easter weekend now, and it's the Sharks versus the Canberra Raiders, Twilight Sunday football. Sunday, 6:15 kickoff. And to round out the first section for their year, 7 days later, the exact same time slot, a Sunday twilight fixture, GIO Stadium, Raiders versus the Parramatta Eels. It's a tricky first 5 weeks to navigate for the men from the nation's capital. New Zealand, Sharks and Newcastle on the road. You would like to think the Tigers is a dub for them, but yeah, that's they need to get at least 2 wins from that opening 5 weeks, and I think they can. I don't know if they will. Their season could be defined by how they go in the first 5 weeks, to be honest. Section 2 for 2024, they remain at Canberra. It is still a third game in a row where they are playing Sunday twilight football. Raiders versus the Gold Coast Titans at GIO Stadium in round number 6. In round number 7, after having back-to-back home games, they are on the road to take on the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium Saturday, 7:30 p.m. They beat the Broncos at Suncorp last year. They shouldn't hold any fears against that mob. In round number 8, they host the Cronulla Sharks. So they've done the double on the Sharks, and this time it's Sunday afternoon Channel 9 fixture. In round number 9, they travel to 4 Pines Park for Friday night footy. That's the 6 p.m. time slot, so that's a short turnaround for the Canberra Raiders. They take on the Manly Seagulls at 4 Pines Park. And round number 10, they have their first bye for 2024. Again, that is a very tricky month or 5 weeks of footy inside Section 2. All of those sides are absolutely top 8 hopefuls. You've got the Broncos hosting the Raiders. That is their big test so far of the season, in my opinion. But again, there's no gimme games. There are no gimme games in the NRL, but I'll tell you what, I think the Raiders have one of the more underappreciated, harder starts of the entire NRL. That is a pretty rocky first 10 weeks of the season. Fresh off of their bye, the Canberra Raiders start Section 3 of the 2024 campaign at Magic Round. They are the first game to kick off the festivities that weekend. They are technically the home side. They take on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs Friday, 6 p.m. 1 week later, round number 12, they host the Eastern Suburbs at GIO Stadium, Saturday, 3 p.m. In round number 13, I believe that this will be an Origin-affected contest emanating from KO Stadium in Redcliffe, Saturday, 1st of June, 7:30 p.m. And the two times that these two sides clashed last year, they both ended in golden point extra time, so it could be yet another thriller here in this game. Round number 14, they have their second bye for 2024, and then in round 15 they host the North Queensland Cowboys at GIO Stadium Friday 6 p.m. So in this block of games, you've got the Dogs, Roosters and Dolphins and Cowboys. They have 2 trips to Queensland. This will also be their 3rd trip to Queensland so far in 2024, so there's still a bit of zipping up and down on that plane for the Canberra Raiders, but it's seemingly a kinder bit to the year for the Raiders, but not by much. Phase 4 for the Canberra Raiders starts Sunday, Channel 9 afternoon footy. It will be an Origin-affected contest, the West Tigers versus the Canberra Raiders from Campbelltown Stadium. They remain on the road when round 17 rolls around. Saturday night footy down at Amy Park. Storm versus the Raiders. Round number 18, Sunday Channel 9 footy. The Raiders take on the Newcastle Knights in a part 2 to the elimination final rematch from season 2023. And then round 19, they have their 3rd and final bye. And to round out their 4th phase for the year, Friday night footy, Channel 9, Raiders versus Warriors. Channel 9 footy on Friday night, Raiders and Warriors. That is ultra rare. That's a pretty cool time slot for both of those clubs, especially for Canberra. So as far as strength of opposition goes, yeah, they could nab it against Newcastle. They could nab it against the West Tigers, but the Storm and the Warriors, they are absolutely the most deadliest sides that they're coming up against. If the Raiders are to make the top 8 and they need a good run to the finals, this is what it looks like, and it starts with an absolute blockbuster in waiting. Sunday twilight fixture. I don't know why it's not the free-to-air game, but anyway, Raiders versus Rabbitohs, Sunday twilight fixture. The return, potentially, hopefully, of Jack Whiten. 7 days later, they're on the road to the Bulldogs at Belmore Sports Oval, Sunday afternoon footy, Channel 9. Round number 23, they're back at home, Saturday 3 p.m. against the Sea Eagles. Round number 24, Saturday twilight fixture, they are away to the North Queensland Cowboys. Round 25, they take on the Penrith Panthers, Saturday 3 p.m. at GIO Stadium. Round 26, well actually before I get there, round 25 is their last home game for the regular season. Round 26, Channel 9 Sunday afternoon footy, they're away to the Roosters at Allianz Stadium. And round number 27, Saturday 3 p.m, they play at Kogarah against the Dragons. Right, so they need to beat some pretty dangerous sides in the Panthers, the Roosters. I'll throw in Manly, I'll throw in South Sydney, and Cowboys in Townsville. Yeah, okay, round 27, it could garner them a victory against the Dragons, potentially, and maybe the Bulldogs if they don't show up properly. But really, after their 3rd bye in round 19, from round 20 down to 27, you'd probably say that 2 games, they're a fair income shot of winning. The other games that they've got are against the teams that are either on the up big time or they are the heavyweights of the competition. That is a really tough run to the final scenario that the Canberra Raiders face. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of the tougher draws that I have seen so far, and there's not many more clubs left. I do think that while they did finish in the top 8 last year, for a side that looks so young, they look so young coming into 2024, man, they got to get off to a good start. They have to get off to a good start in 2024. What do you guys think of the Raiders draw? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Thank you for your support. Take care. Adios.